Hello, everybody. It's Tom with Pilot Institute. Today, I'm going to walk you through what a full-length flight looks like to start up the airplane, to make the initial taxi calls, get out of the airport, fly to another airport, land, and then come back and shut down the airplane. The entire thing, one take, unedited. And so, let's get into it. Okay, so for me, it's very important to use the checklist to make sure that we don't forget anything. So we'll start with pre-flight inspection, which is complete. The Hobbs and tack times are checked out. Passenger briefing. Because I'm the only one in the airplane, I would generally have a briefing with a passenger. But with you as my passenger, we'll go ahead and go through it. So the first thing I'm going to say I would go through is this is a non-smoking flight. The emergency exit locations are these doors right here. To exit, we're going to grab this handle. We're going to lift up, pull all the way back, push out. In the event of a hard landing, we're going to have to just get out however we can. Seatbelts are to be worn at all times. To release, push the red button, pull up over the shoulder. Shoulder harnesses are worn, seat backs upright and locked for taxi, takeoff, and landing. And then also with a passenger, we exchange a positive three-way exchange of controls. So what that means is I would start with the controls, and if I have a passenger who wants to fly the airplane or wants to control the aircraft, they would say my controls. And then I confirm that they're flying the airplane by saying your controls. And then I would ask if there's any questions. Okay, so we've got through that. So there's our briefing. Seats and seatbelts are on and locked. Brakes are test and set. Fuel selector valve is going to go to both. Circuit breakers, verifying that they are all in. They are. Avionics switch is off, but I have it on so we can get audio. And electrical equipment is on so we can have the audio. So for starting, for the prop area, looking for any hazards, and I don't see any. Electrical master switch is on. Throttle goes open, then a 1/4 inch. Mixture is the idle cutoff. Master switch is on. The beacon, which is right here, is on. And then to prime it, since this is the first flight of the day, we're going to turn on our auxiliary fuel pump. Before that, we'll go over here to this gauge. This is our fuel flow right here. So we're going to turn our fuel pump on. Then we're going to go mixture full rich. We're looking for positive flow. We've got it. Back to idle cutoff. Then the fuel pump comes off. Okay, so then I always keep the keys out of the ignition switch until it's time to start the airplane. So we're going to put the keys in. Look once more for any hazards. Clear! Call clear, and then we're ready to start. Now, I'm going to turn the starter, and you'll see the prop start spinning. Once the engine starts, then we're going mixture full rich. One more time. And we've flown this airplane quite a bit, and she starts pretty nice, so it's always nice to have an airplane that you understand and can start up like that. Okay, so we got it started. Mixture is going rich, throttle to 1,000. We're right at 1,000 or 1,030. The oil pressure is in the green. The navigation lights as required. And the avionics master switch comes on, which I've had it on so we can record audio. So you can hear me talking to you through this. All right, so we'll start up our avionics. Go direct. So we got Papa 52 right there, which is where we're going. We'll set our avionics since we're in here. Make sure we're squawking VFR, and then we can set up our radios. One thing that I do when I'm going to have a flight like this is I will go through and I'll put all my frequencies and everything into my notes. I still have Buckeye over here, so we'll just do it off the map. So right here at Prescott, our ATIS 127.2. So I'll use my secondary radio 127.2.
Ceiling 5,000
to get her.
Richard 2.-1, altimeter 3022, ILS approach in use, landing runway 21 left and right, landed home short operation in effect. Outbound advanced ground control direction of departure, inbound southwest through north, contact tower 128.75, inbound northeast through south, contact tower 125.3.
We'll get our ATIS.
Missions warning, runway 21 right has been shortened to 4,396 feet available. Next rate Charlie 3 elevated guard light location not standard. 5G items in effect, Prescott Airport. Further information on flight service frequencies. Hazardous weather available on flight service frequency. For contact, you have Yankee.
Alright, we got information Yankee.
Prescott Tower, information Yankee, 1553 Zulu, wind 180 at 6, visibility 10. 3,400 scattered, ceiling 5,000 broken. Temperature 2.1, altimeter 3022, ILS approach in use, landing runway 21 left and right, landed home short operation in effect. Outbound and advanced ground control direction of departure, inbound southwest through north, contact tower 128.55, inbound northeast through south, contact tower 125.3. Notice the air emissions warning, runway 21 right has been shortened to 4,396 is available.
All right, we actually have our ATIS on here, so we'll do 121.7.
The Charlie 6.
And we'll do 125.3. Okay, so we've got our ATIS is set. Now I have a little bit of time because here at Prescott, it's a little cold today, so it's going to take a little bit of time, and we really don't want to be running the engine up without our oil temperature being in the green. So while I've got this time, I can go ahead and set my avionics and make sure that everything is set and ready to go. So we've got ground, then tower, and then I've got Prescott's ATIS. So we can set Cottonwood's ATIS, which is 119.925. Oh, wrong one. Oh, man, I've already. All right, 125.3. 19.925. All right. Oh, I need another Diet Pepsi. Okay. So we're still waiting for this to heat up. Oil pressure, navigation lights, avionics master switch, radios are on, flaps are already retracted. I can go ahead and close this window because it will get a little chilly. And then, so before our taxi, our mixture, so up here at Prescott, the airport elevation is right around 5,000 feet. So usually about 3,000 feet MSL, you want to start leaning out the mixture. So the red one being our mixture, what we're going to do is we're going to just unscrew it to about a knuckle's length back, and that's going to be good for our taxi and our takeoff operations here. Okay, we got our ATIS, our altimeter. So it is important we set our altimeter to 302.
Continue taxi to the Riddle Ramp via Delta Foxtrot.
Brakes and our taxi clearance. We haven't obtained that quite yet.
Good day.
Everything's looking good. Now, one thing that I like to do is pull up the map of the airport in ForeFlight, and here on ForeFlight, I can anticipate our taxi clearance. So most likely, we're going to get taxiway Charlie, which is right here. We're going to get cross runway 30, all the way down to runway 21 left. While I'm waiting, I'm also already on ground, and I'm just listening for what the other aircraft are getting. There's a certain flight school that tends to dominate this airport, and they're on the other side of the airport. They have a few aircraft on this side.
Stand by.
Okay, are we starting to come out? We're starting to come up. All right. So as our oil temperature starts to come up, we can go ahead and we can start taxiing, but we're not going to be able to do our run up to go above about 1,000 RPMs till we're into the green. So we got a little ways to go down the runway, so we can go ahead and get going and get over to that. So one more check for hazards. We're clear right, clear center, and clear left. Let it roll just a little bit. Left brake, right brake, and then both brakes are working. Now, when we start to taxi, we're still on the ramp. We're in a non-movement area, so ATC doesn't control us. But we want to have the white or the yellow stripe coming down on the inside leg. So I used to say the left leg or the right leg, but it depends on which side you're sitting on. So you always want that stripe over your right leg or the inside leg. Alright, we are clear on the left, clear on the center, clear on the right. Alright, we're clear to the right, clear center, clear left. On ground, on COM 1.
72, contact tower 128.75.
Tower 128.75, radio 72.
Information Yankee. Prescott ground, November 402 Echo Romeo. South ramp, Charlie 2, information Yankee would like a east departure.
Alright.
202 Echo Romeo, Prescott ground, runway 21 left, taxi via Charlie, cross runway 30.
21 left via Charlie, cross runway 30, November 402 Echo Romeo. Alright, so there's our taxi clearance. So now we can get going. We can check to the right, check to the center over here, check to the center, and check to the left.
Bravo 6, wanting to go to south ramp.
Now one thing that I tell my students is we need to,
Charlie, hold short of Charlie 4.
when we're taxiing, we don't want it to be faster than a brisk walk.
Charlie 4, 5.
So there's no rush to get down there, and we don't want to be going fast enough.
Short of Charlie 4.
Hold short of Charlie 4, November 402 Echo Romeo. Okay, so she just amended our taxi clearance. So we're on Charlie. Where's Charlie 4? So Charlie 4 is right down here. So we still have, we are clear left, clear center, clear right.
Via Delta.
Getting a little quick, so we'll slow down.
Thank you.
Okay, we're approaching runway 30. We have our clearance to cross the runway. We are clear left, we are clear center, we are clear center, we are clear to the right.
76 at Delta 5, taxi back to the active.
Turtle 76, Prescott to ground. What type of approaches will you be doing?
Now this runway is sloped, so you got to be careful and constantly evaluating that. Clear left, clear center, clear right.
Turtle 76, Prescott ground, roger. Runway 21 left, taxi via Delta.
Left via Delta, Turtle 76.
Okay, here's Charlie 3. Next is Charlie 4. Pretty sure there's going to be an airplane crossing.
Bay 1, continue your taxi via Bravo 4, Bravo, Bravo 3, Charlie, cross runway 30 at Charlie.
And that's that airplane that's right up ahead of us. No, that looks like 249 Kilo. Maybe it's that one.
Just now, 581, we'll go Bravo 4, Bravo 3, Charlie, cross runway 12 at Charlie. Would you be able to also help us out with progressive taxi instructions, please? 581.
So the 501 affirmative, you're going to take your next right-hand turn after Tango. Your next one after that.
Okay.
Right-hand turn.
So this is interesting. We've got an airplane on the right and one coming right at us. And this is Bravo 4, which is where our taxi clearance.
Behind the oncoming Cessna, they're going to be turning at Bravo 4. Continue your taxi via Charlie.
Okay, we'll continue taxiing on Charlie after this airplane makes their right-hand turn, November 402 Echo Romeo.
Cessna 581, after you turn on Bravo 4, you're going to take your next left-hand turn onto Bravo.
Okay, so that's that. There's 581 right there. That airplane's fun to fly. So we have our clearance, so now we're going to continue taxiing.
Two aircraft calling at the same time, please listen to the frequency. Cessna 581, I see that you listened to me. At the end of Bravo, you're going to turn left onto Bravo 3.
Alright, so we're past him now. And now we can continue our taxi.
Bravo, turn left on Bravo 3, 581.
Cessna 239er Kilo, Prescott ground, was it you that called?
Yeah, Charlie board to the south ramp for 39 Kilo.
Cessna 239er Kilo, roger. Taxi to the south ramp via Charlie, cross runway 30 at Charlie.
South ramp via Charlie, 30 Charlie. Thanks for your help this morning, 39 Kilo.
Clear left, clear center, and clear right ahead. Now, one thing that was good right there is that guy, those instructions, and I know that's a student pilot. With that student pilot, he asked for a progressive taxi, so that's when the tower will give him, just like she did, point-to-point instructions. And so if you're ever feeling overwhelmed, I always tell my students, don't be afraid to ask for assistance.
First right-handed turn onto Charlie.
All right, clear right, clear center.
First right-hand turn. Charlie, flight 81.
Watch line press ground 2-1 of the Prescott 3.
Riddle 69.
Riddle 69, press ground, stay position and verify you have information Zulu.
That's the ground, 88 Romeo Victor, Charlie 4, Bravo 4, Bravo.
RV 688 Romeo Victor, press ground, taxi to the ball next via Bravo 4.
8 Romeo Victor, third to ball, Bravo 4.
Riddle 69, verify you have information Zulu and stay position.
Riddle Avenue, we will get information to Riddle 69.
Riddle 69, roger, runway 21 left, taxi via Foxtrot, Delta, advise once you have Zulu.
We are clear left, clear center, and clear right. Now, we don't have a run-up area on this side, so we're just going to pull off to the side just a little bit.
Correction is just ahead, at the end, and on the right.
At the end.
I'll slow it down.
Last line, press ground, unanswered, say again. Second ground, Riddle 57, ramp 3 with Zulu, requesting northeast departure to Cottonwood.
Okay, we'll offset just a little bit like this. And then we go back to our checklist. All right, so before takeoff, our parking brake gets set.
Taxi via Echo Charlie, cross runway 30 at Charlie.
Passenger seat backs are upright. Seats and seat belts are set. Cabin doors are locked. Windows are closed.
57, roger, and just verify.
Flight controls, so we're going to go full forward. Then let's see, left aileron up, right aileron down, right aileron up, left aileron down, and then we're going left, or at the back, full aft, the elevator is up, full forward, aileron, or elevator is down, no binding belts. So please parking.
More pressing ground, taxi via Alpha,
Flight instruments, so our airspeed's reading near zero, attitude indicators reading approximately level, altimeter set to current altimeter setting within 75 feet of field elevation. Our turn coordinator is indicating wings level and the ball is centered. So right here we're looking at about a 8082. So right about there for the directional gyro, and vertical speed indicators indicating 100-foot descent. That will be our new zero. Fuel quantity, we are full. Then our mixture is going to go full rich. We're going to leave it lean for our altitude. Fuel selector valve verified on both. Let's see, our throttle up to 1800 RPM. Okay, so there's 1800 RPM. So let's do our mag check. First one we're going to check is our right, which is all the way to the left. Makes sense. All right, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to both. Let it stabilize. We're at 1750. So about 1780, 1790. So about a 50 RPM drop right there. Bring it back to 1800. Check the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to both.
Delta.
We went from about 1700 down to about 1710. I'm going to give it a second, then I'm going to check it again.
Zulu now current wind calm, altimeter 3023.
It's actually indicating that we're not, that cylinder 3 maybe, we may be having a little bit of an issue with. Oh, it's coming up. It's just not as warm as the other ones. Okay, so we'll go back to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got a maximum of about, we're floating around about 1730. So that's a 70 RPM drop. So that's within, that's no more than 150 and within 50 of each other. So the mags are checking good.
So behind the Cessna approaching from your left, taxi to next via Charlie.
Okay, our vacuum, we're going to check right here, is in the green. Engine instruments and ammeter are good right here. Annunciator panel is off and it is working. throttle. We're going to come to idle to make sure she doesn't stall out and die when we go power to idle. She does not, so we're going to go back to 1,000. Okay, the friction lock is set. Strobe lights, we'll put those on because there's a lot of airplanes around here. And then our pre-takeoff brief. So we're going to be departing on runway 21 left on an what we're going to do is if we have an engine failure before rotation speed, we're going to pull power to idle, apply brakes, get off the runway, deal with whatever issue we have. If we've rotated and we have sufficient runway remaining, we're going to set back down on the runway, and then we're going to pull power to idle, apply brakes heavily, get off the runway if possible, deal with whatever issue we have. If we don't have sufficient runway remaining, best glide for this Cessna is 68. We're going to pitch for best glide and then land where practical. From the runway threshold up to 500 feet, we're going to pick a spot 30 degrees off the nose and pick a spot to land. From 500 to 1,000 feet, we're going to pick a spot 60 degrees off the nose and pick our landing spot from there. We're not going to try to come back to the runway or to the airport unless we're at least 1,000 feet above the ground level, and then we're going to pick a spot 90 degrees off the nose and come back to the runway that way. And then I would ask a passenger, are there any questions? Okay. The radios and avionics are set. We'll switch over to the tower here in a second. Nav and GPS are set. Autopilot, this one doesn't have it. Manual electric trim. This doesn't have electric trim, but we will set it for takeoff. Wing flaps, we're going to leave them up. And then lights are set, brakes are released, and we got these riddle guys ready to go, so we're going to get on going. Then we'll switch over to the tower. Okay. Tower November 402 Echo Romeo, holding short runway 21 left, Charlie 7.
402 Echo Romeo, press tower, hold short runway 21 left.
Hold short runway 21 left, November 402 Echo Romeo. Alright, so we can see we got a couple airplanes coming in.
Little 93, crossing over the camp. Crossing over the campus, Little 93.
It's getting a little warm in here. But it looks like a beautiful day to fly. We'll put our 122.7 for our
Riddle 76, runway 21 left, line up and wait. Traffic left downwind. 21 left, line up and wait, Riddle 76. Riddle 75, turn left, Delta 4, contact ground. Out to Delta 4, contact ground, Riddle 75. Actually, Riddle 74, continue all the way to Delta 3 for me, please. All the way to Delta 3, Riddle 75.
So for line up and wait, he's just pulling out onto the runway. He's going to stop right there, and then he's going to wait for his takeoff clearance.
Riddle 74, turn base runway 21 left, continue. Traffic to your left, turning final for the parallel RV. Turning base to Riddle 74. This is 09 Golf, follow the Cessna, head baker. 75 Carolina Golf. Or need Prescott Tower, Riddle 2, holding short out Delta 7, wait for departure 1. Riddle 2, press tower, roger. Riddle 76, flash it out, runway 21 left, clear to forward takeoff. Check out, clear for takeoff, fall net, Riddle 76. Let's do Echo Romeo, runway 21 left, line up and wait, traffic, Cessna, 2 mile final.
Line up and wait, 21 left, November 402 Echo Romeo. Alright, so we know there's an airplane on a 2-mile final, so we need to get out here and get lined up. He's waiting for this guy to, he's going to get this guy out, make sure we're properly separated, then he'll give us our clearance.
Cessna 402 Echo Romeo, Prescott Tower, fly straight out, runway 21 left, clear to takeoff.
21 left, clear for takeoff, fly straight out, November 402 Echo Romeo.
Before runway 21 left, okay.
So now we are aligned with center line, our gauges are on the green, and our airspeed is alive. Looking for 55.
Runway 21 left, extend downwind traffic, holding position. Downwind or 583.
Alright, there's 55. We're going to rotate.
128.75.
We're going to start trimming while we're flying straight out. Looking for VY of 74. Keeping an eye on that airplane straight ahead.
This is 2 Echo Romeo, left turn to the east group.
Left turn to the east crew, November 402 Echo Romeo. So we still, even though he's approved us for this turn, we still want to climb up a little bit.
Prescott Tower, Cessna, November 290901 Sierra.
So it's a 299.
And he's already told us that we're on course. Basically, we're on course approved, so we don't have to apply the traffic pattern. We can just turn to the east.
So it's 29901 Sierra, Prescott Tower, report over the fairgrounds.
901 Sierra, unfamiliar with fairground.
So it's 901 Sierra, suggested heading of 170.
901 Sierra, 170.
It's 901 Sierra. The fairgrounds is the horse track, the racetrack there to the south of you.
901 Sierra is looking.
Total 93, turn base, runway 21 left, continue traffic holding position. Turn base, 21 left, continue 90.
Okay, making sure we're coordinated, climbing out to the east.
Total 74, crossing over the campus, please. Crossing over the campus, total 74. Total 3, runway 21 left, line up and white traffic, twin stars, 3 mile final.
The line up and wait, runway 21 left, total 2. Press tower 17, holding short runway 21 left at south at 7, push departure.
Total 17, press the tail, roger.
Going to turn a little bit to the northeast.
Prescott Tower, Riddle 53 on the ILS, runway 21 left, full stop, left ramp.
Total 53, Prescott Tower, report a 5 mile final.
We will report a 5 mile final, rip the CA.
Verify, everything's still in the green.
Yeah.
53, Riddle 53.
Thank you.
Now we're climbing up. Once we get above 7,500, we're 6,500 right now, we'll be outside of Prescott's airspace.
93, runway 21 left, clear, touch go. 21 left, clear, touch go, runway. This is 09 Golf, follow the Cessna ahead, they'll be turning crossing over the campus.
Looking for traffic, Carolina Golf, touches, campus, Carolina Golf.
A little bit of air flowing through here is always nice.
Riddle 57, hold short 2 and left, Charlie.
We've always got to be looking outside because we're in visual conditions. We need to see and avoid any other traffic that might be in the area. And with all these airplanes in the area, there's a good chance that we might end up running into one. And we just want that to be figuratively, not literally.
Prescott Tower, Riddle 69, number 2, holding short 2 1 left at Delta 7.
Total 69, press star ready. Total 74, runway 21 left, continue traffic holding position. Continue traffic, runway 21 left. Riddle 2, continue sit out, contact tower, 128.75.
Out, contact power 20.75, Riddle 2.
901 Sierra, about 2 miles ahead of you is the fairground.
901 Sierra.
This is 2 Echo Romeo traffic, Cessna descending at 6,400. Approaching the fairgrounds now, frequency change 50.
I'll be looking for that traffic and frequency change approved November 402 Echo Romeo.
Sure. Team runway 21 left, line up and white traffic, that's the left.
So,
Left and white, route 17.
think the fairgrounds are right below me. Yeah, so right over here.
57 Prescott Tower, Roger.
We're going to keep climbing up. I know the Renaissance Festival's in town. Oh, that's out in Mesa, though. Yep.
The fairgrounds in sight.
901 Sierra, affirmative.
This is 910, thank you. Make a left 270-degree turn and join a 5-mile final runway 2 and left for me, please.
901 Sierra, left 270, 5-mile final, 21 left.
Little 17, fly set out, runway 2 and left, clear for takeoff.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, the Renaissance Festival is actually a VFR checkpoint down in Mesa.
Wait, pass Cessna left downwind.
Okay, so we're going to climb.
Wait, Riddle 69.
Riddle 93, crossing over the campus, please.
Tower, anyway, Riddle 93, departure northeast.
Riddle 93, left downwind departure is approved.
Left downwind departure is approved, Riddle 93.
Riddle 22, holding short, sun off the Delta 7.
All right.
Riddle 69, fly set out, runway 2 and left, clear for takeoff.
2 and left, clear for takeoff, Riddle 69.
Riddle 57, runway 2 and left, line up and wait, have Cessna left downwind.
Runway 2 and left, 57.
Riddle 74, extend downwind.
Extend downwind, Riddle 74.
Beautiful day to fly.
Tower, Riddle 53, 5
The air is very nice. I haven't felt any kind of turbulence so far. So, okay.
51 left, Riddle 53.
Now, Cottonwood's basically on the other side of this mountain. I asked for an east departure instead of a northeast departure. So we flew out east. We're outside their airspace. Now we're going to just go around the side of the mountain right here. And then we're going to enter basically along downwind for Cottonwood traffic. So, but we are going to switch over to their frequency. And then we can also switch over to their ATIS. We won't get their ATIS because we're so far out. Now we are going to start, I'm going to descend down to 7,500. I wanted to climb up because there's this other airplane over here, which should be over in the airspace over there. And I wanted to make sure that I was far enough away from them that there wasn't going to be an issue. But because we're on a, between 360 and 179, and we're above 3,000 feet AGL, we need to be at odd altitudes plus 500. So we're going to descend down back to 7,500. And then we're going to go around the back of this mountain, and that's when we'll be able to pick everything up.
Roger, 845, VOR inbound, approach altitude open, Stanfield.
Now what's funny is we're on, this is how well these radios work. Stanfield is Casa Grande, which is a couple hundred miles away, and we're picking them up on the radio. But once we get behind the mountain here, we won't be able to pick them up because Cottonwood is actually at a lower altitude.
Right. I think we got this side. If you wouldn't mind, just a light turn to the north, that'd be awesome. Give you 20 to the north, 20.
Right, as we're descending down. Traffic pattern altitude is 4560. It's actually 4360.
South Grand Tower, 136, part to the northwest, left, all, okay.
So on these different radios, you can transmit on this one and listen on this one. So this is radio 1, this is radio 2. I don't need to talk on ATIS, I only want to listen, so I can hit this button.
Traffic, 845, 4 mile final, runway 5. That's right.
It's trying to pick it up. We know Cottonwood's got runway 14 and 32. Most of the time they're on 32.
You guys depart the pattern?
Alright, they're 7,500.
November, are you departing the pattern or two? Over. For a left downwind runway 14 Cottonwood.
Okay, so they're actually using using runway 14 at Cottonwood, or at least that guy was. There's our clouds. You need to stay away from the clouds. See, we're on about a 04.
Cottonwood traffic, Colonel 55, downwind runway 1.
Still nothing from the ATIS. Or AWAS, 119.925, 119.925, yep. On the right frequency. And looking over there, we can actually see the airport now, as there's a long strip that's going that way like that. They're using 14, which would mean we could enter straight in like this, but I do not enter straight in on uncontrolled airports, because if there's someone, they're not required to have radios here, and if they don't have a radio and they're taking off 3-2, they could be coming straight at us, and we may not see them until it's too late. So that's a real concern, and my boss and I, when we flew out here a few times ago, that was something that actually happened to us. So I will always, they're using 14. Not getting anything. Let me verify the volume. Yeah, it's nothing. Right up ahead, we've got an airplane going the opposite direction. Alright, so we're 8 miles away from Cottonwood. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo. We're about 8 miles to the north. We're not getting any ATIS. Does anybody have any kind of wind information on the airport? Cottonwood traffic. See if anybody over there can tell us what it's doing.
Cottonwood traffic, Colonel 55 on the go, runway 14. Wind was right now about 14, even about 5 knots.
Okay, roger that. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo will be flying out about 8 miles or so from the airport, then entering the downwind at a 45 for runway 14 November, or actually Cottonwood traffic. So we can see the airport right there, and we've got a guy in the pattern. We don't know how many other people are in the pattern. I would assume that he would be telling us if there was someone, but
Cottonwood traffic, Roll 55, upwind, turning crosswind to runway 14, close traffic, Cottonwood.
So now, right now, we're headed out. We're descending 500, actually 400 feet per minute at about 110 knots. So we're making good time. He's on the upwind and turning crosswind, and then he'll be on the downwind.
Traffic, Roll 55, left downwind, runway 14, Cottonwood.
And my guess is going to be he'll be on the downwind, turn base, and then final, and then probably be off before we enter the downwind. So we've just got to be cognizant of him. Level line, we're 65. We still got a little bit that we could descend. Now, there's all sorts of different ways you can actually enter the pattern. I chose to fly out here because I believe on the other side of the airport is a noise-sensitive area, so we want to stay away from that. Because we've got right pattern for 3-2 and left pattern for 1-4, so they want aircraft staying on this side. So by coming all the way out here, I'm avoiding that noise-sensitive area as well as being able to fly out and then enter the downwind. You could have flown up over the mountains, come around the backside, entered a downwind, but with no wind information, it's who knows. You could have come in and then, I mean, if you're okay with straight in, you could have done that as well. But like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry, so I'm flying out this far. We're about 3 miles out from the airport, which is farther than any traffic pattern. Most traffic patterns are flown, no more than about a mile from the airport. The idea behind the traffic pattern is to sequence aircraft in, as well as put you close enough if you had an engine failure, you could get to the airport. Okay, we're coming up on 5,000 feet.
55, left crosswind to downwind, runway 14, let's go, Cottonwood.
All our gauges are still in the green. We're looking good.
Cottonwood traffic, Roll 55, left downwind, runway 1.
Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo, 3 miles east. We're turning to enter the downwind at a 45 for runway 14, touch and go, Cottonwood.
Cottonwood traffic, Roll 55, midfield left downwind, runway 14. Just let you know, I know you asked about the winds a little bit earlier, about a 5-knot crosswind out at 50.
Affirmative, thanks for the information. November 402 Echo Romeo. Alright, so there's 4800 for a little bit of nose up trim. There's our airport right here. Checking downwind from further back. Start our turn. Right at 4800. Okay, I can see the other airplane. He's up there on the crosswind. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo is on the downwind, runway 14, touch and go, Cottonwood. And we have that airplane on base in sight, Cottonwood traffic. Okay,
Traffic girl 50.
checking the runway. I don't see any hazards there. He was talking about a crosswind, so we'll see when we're coming in on final. So our landing point is going to be just past the numbers right there, so our aiming point will probably be right at the threshold. We'll use the about that first taxiway. So coming to beam our spot. So when we start to land, we're going to go power to 1500. First our gumps. Gas is on both. Undercarriage is fixed. Mixture is good. Prop is, mixture full rich. Prop is spinning, and seatbelts are on. Then we're going to trim for 75 and go flaps 10. We're in the white arc, so flaps 10, looking for 75. He's over the threshold. He's coming in. Got a little slow, so we're going to trim her down. Now we're flying out 45 degrees. Does look like we might be getting pushed a little bit out, but that's okay. So 75, flying out 45. Out about right here. Still looking for hazards, and we're good. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo, turning base, runway 14, touch and go, Cottonwood. As we turn, we don't want to really dive into the turn. 300 feet per minute is pretty good for a rated descent. Now we're on base, then we go flaps 20. We're a little bit high, not bad. A little bit high rate of descent, but our airspeed's looking good. Now we're checking final, looking all over, making sure there's no other airplanes. I don't see any. Airspeed's getting a little hair slow. We want it at about 70 right now, and then once we turn final, then we'll want it at 65, especially for short final. All right, so we're coming up. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo, turning final, runway 14, touch and go, Cottonwood.
Cottonwood traffic girl 55. Upwind, runway 14, Cottonwood.
Okay, so we overshot final just a hair, but not bad. So now we're established on final, full flaps. Now we got just to the left, we can see our glide slope indicator. So we're a little high. So instead of diving towards it, we're just going to slow her down. Once we slow her down, we're pretty high. That's okay. We get down to about 60. Now she's sinking. As we sink, we come on in. Now we want to add a little bit of power because we don't want to get going too fast.
They 14. Just to advise everyone, looks like there's traffic about 3 miles south of the airport, pattern altitude. Uncalled, but we've got them spotted.
All right, so there's our touch and go, 55, and we rotate.
Cottonwood traffic,
Now we're climbing out.
We have aircraft on left downwind towards the runway. Advised we should be flying over south.
Climbing out to 76. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo is on upwind, runway 14. Have that helicopter in sight. It's right there.
Got one, roger that. You going to be landing there again?
402 Echo Romeo is going to be a downwind departure back towards Prescott.
Just go ahead and take it down low level and we'll just see it. West side of Cottonwood. No back. Cottonwood traffic, girl 55 on the left downwind, runway 14 at the moment. Touch and go, Cottonwood.
All right. Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo, turning crosswind, and then we'll be departing on the downwind back to Prescott. Cottonwood traffic. So there was a touch and go. There's a little bit of radio traffic, so I didn't walk through the specific steps of the how to perform the touch and go. See, there's the helicopter. No, that's the airplane all the way over there. So then we'll get on our downwind, and we're just going to keep climbing out, and we'll head back to Prescott. .85, so we tune in our ATIS. It's our airspeed, right at 80, a little bit of nose up trim.
Equinal 55, with runway 14 at 402 Echo Romeo in sight. We're going to turn crosswind after them, Cottonwood.
So they're on the go. We also got someone up ahead of us, about 700 feet below us. We're going to climb up to about 8.5. Oh yeah, they're headed the other direction. Make sure to keep that right rudder to make sure we maintain coordination.
5, left crosswind, runway 14, touch and go, Cottonwood.
Cottonwood traffic, November 402 Echo Romeo's departing to the northwest, and this will be our last call, Cottonwood.
Cottonwood traffic, total 55. Left downwind, runway 14, Cottonwood.
All right, so we're going to fly out. We'll stay away from the mountains. One issue with flying over the mountains right here is you can see the clouds, and we can fly over them, but that would put us up pretty high, and that would be a lot of altitude to lose. So going around here and then flying out, I still think that's the best idea. I mean, there's no wrong way, but there's certain preferential ways. So that's the way I do it. I hope maybe you'll consider that as well. So as we head back to Prescott, see if we can get Prescott's ATIS. Not yet. They're behind the mountain. But while we're climbing, we can go direct. Okay. No, not Luke. Okay. KPRC. Enter. Enter. All right. So we're 20 miles away from Prescott right now. Now, when it comes to trim is pretty sensitive. Like, I wanted to climb at 76. Like, right now, the only thing I'm doing is I'm holding a little bit of rudder. Because if I don't hold rudder, we get adverse yaw, so it wants to do this. That's our left turning tendency. So if I push on the rudder and I keep it coordinated, I can trim it so we can climb. We'll climb a little quick, but just a little bit of trim on that elevator. And then I don't even need to touch the yoke. She's climbing at 77 or 75 all by herself. All right, there's 6,500. See, we got a Riddle airplane up here, showing on the scope, 2,000 feet above us, showing a mile out. So even though I said last call on that frequency, I still continue to monitor it because there is a chance. I'm almost positive this guy's going to be going to. He's going to be going to Cottonwood because everybody gets out of Prescott because it's super busy and goes to Cottonwood to do practice touch and goes. So he should be over there. I'm still not seeing him, but he should be any factor. All right, let's see if we can get Prescott yet. Nope. One two seven two. We'll just leave it on. gauges are still in the green. Everything was looking good. Looking outside for traffic. It's a beautiful day. The air is really nice. There's about to be a huge storm that comes through.
Cottonwood traffic, Little 55. Upwind, runway 14. We're going to do a left downward departure.
East, west, northwest, north. We're going to be coming in northeast, so we'll contact on 125.3.
Bound provides ground control direction of departure. 10 bound southwestward north, tower 128.45. 10 bound northeast to south, moving tower 125.3. Notice air missions, runway 4 right has been shortened, 4,396 feet available.
Nope, that's wrong.
Prescott Airport, further information, contact flight service 62. Next week, Charlie 3, elevated guard light, runway 2 and left location and standard. Humboldt Mountain, communication hour 122.6, unserviceable. Train 0.5 nautical miles east of Prescott Airport, 60 feet AGL flag. Hazardous weather information with an Arizona available flight service frequencies. Besides the initial contact you have. Zulu. Prescott confirmation Zulu 1650 Zulu. Wind variable 3, visibility 10. 4,300 scattered. Temperature 7, 2.1. Altimeter 3, 0. 22. Visual approach in use, landing runway still not going in effect. Outbound device ground control direction of departure. Inbound southwest to north, contact tower 128.75.
Left downwind, runway 14. We're going to on
Okay. We can switch over to there, and we can turn off the ATIS because we got it. So we got Zulu 3022, which is the same as when we left. Now, when flying airplanes, altitude is your friend. Now, we are getting a little close to these clouds, so I'm going to fly out and around them. I'm pretty sure if I level off at 8.5, that might be right at the base, but just to make sure that we're away from them, we're going to just fly out a little bit. Always scanning for other airplanes. Now, a lot of guys will use their iPads. I think you can actually connect your iPad to the screen on here, but I prefer to, and I have a Sentry that I will connect to my iPad, and it'll show you the traffic on here. But a lot of people tend to go to this to look for traffic, and I use this as a reference, but primarily what I tell my students is you need to be looking outside. You need to be scanning outside. That is primary. You can use this to kind of, as I've done, is say, okay, there's an airplane over here. I'm going to look over in this area, and that'll help give me an idea of where other aircraft are. But aircraft aren't required to have radios. They're not required to have anything out here. So you could have an airplane that's flying around with no radio and no ADS-B and no transponder, and that's why it's most important to look outside. They wouldn't show up on any of this. All right, so we're at 8.5. Bring back our power just a little bit. I can see the airport straight over there. We'll call them when we're about 10 miles out.
Still under 3 is still really low temperature.
What's that?
Still under 3.
Still under 3? Yeah, I don't know that if it's working right or if there's an issue. It hasn't sounded bad, and the exhaust gas temperature or the cylinder head temperatures are all fine. So I think it might be an issue with the. I think it might be more of an issue with the instrument reading it rather than with the actual engine itself.
Runway 3, Stona.
Oh, we're on 12300. Oh, 23.5. Oh, 125.3. Boy, I'm on a roll. 5.3.
93, turn left Delta 5 is able, otherwise expedite to Delta 4 and contact ground. Bound Delta 4 and contact ground. Thanks for your help on the way in.
Get back up, 8,500.
Two power, 74, can we make this a full stop? You can expect that, Riddle 74. Do you see the traffic yet? Approaching off your left, Riddle 74. Negative contact, Riddle 74.
CSI Riddle 74.
Thank you. 74.
I will discuss my Riddle 74.
Prescott Tower, Riddle 14, ready for takeoff on 21 left on 7-second line.
Riddle 47, fly straight out, runway 21 left, clear for takeoff.
Fly straight out, runway 21 left, Riddle 6.
Riddle 12, Prescott Tower, runway 21 left, line up and wait. Just a
Airport's over here. I was wondering.
21 left.
I'm used to looking at the big white buildings.
14, Prescott Tower, roger.
Tower, Riddle 60 is 5 miles southeast.
60, thank you. Descend pattern altitude and extend down, runway 21 left.
Wilco, Riddle 60.
Okay, so here comes a cloud. We'll descend a little bit. We're still well clear of it. So we're 12 miles out. Go ahead and come back over. We're going to try to line up for a straight in for 219.
Is 13 and a half south of the airport, 1,700. Lifting full south, back to the Will Doodle.
Air call send again.
Route 29.
Make left traffic, runway 21 left, remain above 6,500.
Left traffic, correct, west, main out of about 6,500.
Fly straight out, runway 21 left, clear for takeoff, no delay.
Middle way straight out, 21 left, clear for takeoff at 12.
14, runway 21 left, line up and wait, so 2 miles final.
Line and wait, 21 left for 14.
47, leaving 6,500, left turn approved.
65, left turn approved, 047.
Prescott Tower, November 402, Echo Romeo, 11 miles northeast. Information Zulu, like a full stop.
Preston 402, Echo Romeo, Prescott Tower, straight in, runway 21 left, report a 5 mile final.
Straight in, runway 21 left, report 5 mile final, November 402, Echo Romeo.
22, expect your clearance on short final.
Expect clearance short final, 402, Echo Romeo.
1 aircraft at a time, only one. Riddle 22, you will get your clearance short final.
22, roger.
73, turn base.
Oh, well, that wasn't for me.
14, no delay, fly straight out, runway 21 left, clear for takeoff.
Middle way, fly straight out, 21 left, clear for takeoff at 14.
Cherokee 15277, Preston Tower, hold short, runway 21 left.
Hold short, 2 left, Cherokee 77.
Riddle 22, traffic is departing, runway 21 left, clear for the option, fly straight out.
If the option, fly straight out.
That's 1.7.
74, number 2, runway 21 left, clear to land. Clear to land. 73, number 4, runway 21 left, clear touch and go. I need a response, Turtle 73, runway 21 left, clear touch and go.
Okay, 1 left, I mean, okay.
Thank you. 47, amend instructions, fly straight out.
Straight out, first up.
29, expedite your descent as soon as you're able, down to 6,500.
We'll start as soon as able, road 29.
Airspace ahead.
Start your left turn now, make a left downwind departure.
Left turn now, left downwind departure, Riddle 12.
Tower, Riddle 22, go best, fly straight out.
22, roger, fly straight out, contact tower 128.75.
Contact Tower 1265, Riddle 22.
Prescott Tower, Moody 4665 Hotel. Moody 4665 Hotel, Prescott Tower. 65 Hotel, 13 Northeast, inbound with Zulu. Moody 4665 Hotel, roger. Identity, please.
Ahead.
Yep, thank you. I know airspace is ahead.
Airspace ahead. Airspace ahead.
Prescott Tower, Bonanza 15454 with Zulus, 12 to the southeast. Full stop parking, right air.
454 Prescott Tower, remain above 6,500, make left traffic, runway 21 left.
Airspace.
Left traffic to 1 left, remain at or above 6,500, 454.
Mooney 65 Hotel, I have your ident. Make sure to runway 21 left. 21 left, and I'll be parking at Red Air 65 Hotel. Sure. Echo Romeo, change to runway 21 right, make straight in runway 21 right and contact tower now on 128.75.
Straight in 21 right and 128.75 for 402 Echo Romeo.
We'll see you again, I'll call your base.
Yeah, Baker, I think.
40.
Airspace ahead.
Prescott Tower, November 402 Echo Romeo. About a 7 mile final, runway 21 right.
Ahead.
Guidance 43, turn right, close traffic approved. Guidance 43, right,
Ahead.
turn right, close traffic approved. Guidance 43. Number 8, Lima Papa, fly straight out.
Airspace ahead.
Ailing Papa, fly straight out.
Roger, Joe Romeo, press tower, roger, continue inbound.
Airspace.
Continue in 402 Echo Romeo. All right. So we got 21 left, which is a nice big runway right there. We've got runway 21 right, which is the little skinny one right here, which sits back a little bit. So it's a nice runway. He's a little busy over on the other runway.
Ahead.
So we're about 5 miles out. Traffic pattern altitude 6,034. So we'll just hang out here. And I picked up some speed trying to come in to help get sequence. But right now, we're going to start slowing her down. We'll slow down to about 90 knots. Attaining about 6,000.
Number 43 Golf, the short approach is approved. Helicopter for guidance. 43, short approach for runway 21 right, short approach for the outcome.
Guidance 43, copy, short approach approved. 21 right,
Get
the
back
option.
up.
Guidance 43.
All right, Lima Papa, right, close traffic approved.
Close traffic approved, Lima Papa.
22 right, turn on course approved. Little 22 right, turn on course approved.
Looks like we're getting blown to the right a little bit. So it might be a little bit of a crosswind. They said variable at 3.
Or 09 Golf, request full stop.
Okay, we're 4 miles out.
Zero, don't follow, says no.
Start our descent.
Set 09 Golf.
Power to 15. Trim for 75.
You're number 2, helicopter being the number, making a short approach runway 21 right, short and clear to land.
Okay, we're number 2 behind a helicopter looking for that traffic. 21 right, clear to land, November 402 Echo Romeo. Okay.
22, kind of Phoenix departure, or
So 1500 RPM, coming in at 75 right now. There's a helicopter coming in, but I don't see him.
Riddle
He's
22.
doing a short approach. There he is. I can see him descending.
Second.
Pretty sure that's him. Alright, we're on a 3-mile final. We'll go white arc, flaps 20. Okay, I can see a beacon light on the runway flashing. Yeah, I can see some rotors spinning. Okay, we got our Pappy to the left. Looks like one red, one white. One wants to turn white, so it might be a hair high.
Number 2, follow Cessna, just outside of a mile final.
Look at the traffic data.
Short final, flaps full.
Air Golf, number 3, follow Cessna, head on downward, push the numbers.
Alright, Carolina Golf.
Number 09 Golf, runway 21 right, short and clear to land.
Clear to land.
65.
Alright, Carolina Golf.
Guidance 43, flash straight out.
Now it looks like we're sinking a little bit. Getting a little slow, so we add a little bit of power.
Runway 21 right, short, clear, touch and go.
Right, that's good.
Oh, a little bit of an updraft. So we're going to cut our power, slow her down a little bit. Coming in over the numbers. Come in, power to idle, level off. She starts to sink. We start the flare. Touch down on the mains. And the nose wheel. Then apply full aerodynamic braking while a little bit of brakes. That was a nice smooth run.
Traffic, 6 o'clock.
That was a nice smooth landing. This one tends to front wheel shimmy a little bit, which isn't too bad.
Turn left at Tango, coming ground point 7.
Left at Tango, ground point 7, November 402 Echo Romeo. Good day, ma'am. Okay, I know Tango is all the way at the end, and ForeFlight will overlay the airport for you
17 miles
on your plates. So I don't know why I changed it, but that's okay.
Full stop.
Need to be paying attention to going down the taxiway first, so I can deal with it overlaid right here. That'll work. One two 1.7. Alright, we are clear right, and we are clear left. Now we just need to make sure
Tower stay altitude.
we come here and we get off the runway. Make sure we are fully clear of the runway. We are. Now we're going to switch over to ground.
At Charlie.
Charlie Echo to Ramp 3, cross runway 30 Charlie. Riddle.
Riddle 17, continue taxi to the Riddle ramp via Delta, runway 12, Foxtrot 3, Foxtrot.
Delta 12, Foxtrot 3, Foxtrot with 17 today.
Prescott Tower November 402 Echo Romeo off runway 21 right. On Tango, holding short Charlie, like to taxi to the south ramp.
Cessna 402 Echo Romeo, press ground behind the Cessna 13 from your left. Taxi to the south ramp via Charlie, cross runway 30 at Charlie.
Okay, so behind the Cessna, we're going to taxi via Charlie, cross runway 30 on Charlie to the south ramp, November 402 Echo Romeo.
Charlie 901 Golf behind the Cessna.
All right.
Your right, taxi via Delta, hold short of Delta 4.
So we are clear left, clear center, and then we got this airplane to the right going away from us.
Riddle 68, Prescott ground, runway 21 left, taxi via Foxtrot, hold short of Delta.
Yeah, Foxtrot, hold short of Delta to 21 left, Riddle 68.
Just ground, Mooney 4665 Hotel at Delta 3 going to Red Air.
Mooney 4665 Hotel, Prescott ground, taxi straight ahead to Red Air.
Straight ahead, Red Air, 665 Hotel.
Charlie 901 Golf, hold short of runway 21 left.
All right, we are clear left, clear center, and clear right.
Riddle 68, continue taxi via Delta.
Continue via Delta to 21 left, Riddle 68.
Charlie 901 Golf, no delay, cross runway 21 left at Delta 4.
Across 21 left, Delta 4, no delay. I don't know.
All right, we are clear left, clear center, clear right.
901 Golf, continue via Bravo 4 to the bottleneck.
Might be a Bravo 4, I don't know.
Clear center, clear right.
30 Golf at Tango, taxi.
Charlie 130 Golf.
All right, we're approaching runway 30. We already have our clearance. She told us cross runway 30 on Charlie. So we are clear left, clear center, and clear right.
Get ground, taxi via Charlie, hold short of Charlie 4.
Taxi via Charlie, hold short Charlie 4, 130 Golf.
Clear left, clear center, and clear right. Now, looking up ahead, I can see over on the south ramp, there's a golf cart. Looks like it's pulling an airplane. So we're going to, there's a couple options for us. We can either go all the way down. This is Charlie 2. We can go down to Charlie 1 and come in behind them, or we can pull off and just wait. But because I don't know what they're doing, I don't know if they're going to try to back this airplane into the spot right there. We're going to go down all the way to Charlie 1, and then we're going to come in from behind.
Center 29 press ground, proceed to the road ramp via Delta, cross runway 30 at Delta.
Delta Foxtrot, cross 30 at Delta, Center 29, thank you.
Golf, hold short of runway 21 left at Charlie 4.
Hold short, 1 left, Charlie 4, Charlie Golf.
09 Golf, traffic exiting upfield, no delay. Cross runway 21 left at Charlie 4.
No delay, cross runway 21 left, Charlie 4.
Alright, so we're down here. Make sure our wings don't run into anything.
09 Golf.
And then so now we're on the ramp, we're going to back it into this spot right here. So I'm going to slow down, nice and slow, get that right brake. This will make it easier to push back. So then we straighten her out like this, and we go back to the checklist. Alright, so for our checklist, for our shutdown, we're going to put our parking brake on, our avionics. I'm going to leave those on so you can still hear me as I talk through this. Mixture's going to go to idle cutoff, but before we do that, we check make sure the mag's ground out. So I'm going to turn the ignition off, and the engine should turn off. And then when it does that, I'm going to turn it back on, and it'll continue running. So we're going to go off. Yep, and it's shutting off, so we go back to bulb. So this way we know that the mags are grounded out and that the wires are connected. So then from here, we're going to go mixture to idle cutoff. The prop is stopped. Then we're going to turn the
All company back to the operator.
Let's see. So I always remove the keys from the ignition. So we go, I know the tower was talking and I'm still on with ground, but we go mixture to idle cutoff, wait for the prop to stop. Then I remove the keys from the ignition, put them on the dash, and then it's basically just turning off the mixture ignition switch, master switch. We put the control lock in, the fuel selector valve. We can put that on right now. And then the Hobbs tack time, I will do that, and then we will secure the airplane. So I hope you like this flight. It was a lot of fun to do today. It was a beautiful day to go and fly. It wasn't too busy, with the exception of coming back on 2-1 left. We've got a lot coming on. We've got a lot of content coming up. I'm going to be doing more of these flights, both VFR and IFR, and going to different airports. So if you like what you see, let us know down below, and we will catch you on the next one.